All right, guys, so it's review time again. Gamepad controller. Purchased this on Amazon for about $33 and some change after taxes. I think it was about $37. Claims it had 20 hours of battery life and some other features like motion control and vibration. So we're going to find out. But with that being said, let's hop right into this review. All right, so here's the product right here, like we talked about earlier. This has gyro, has dual shock, two of them, so you do have the vibration, wireless charging, which means you can disconnect them from the switch and connect them to the switch. You should be fine. And according to this, it looks like the original switch pieces snap onto this. Not too sure, but we're going to definitely unbox this together in real time. Remember, I'll use it just like you guys. This is built in. The battery lasts for 20 hours, so apparently they can last for 20 hours in one charge. That's hard to believe, but either way, as long as I can get a good 6, 7, 8 hours of it, I don't really care. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it from the bottom. You know what? Let's open it from the top. I really didn't want to have to do this. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Did I get it? I didn't quite get it. There we go. Let's see what yep, got it. Here we are. So, pop this bad boy open right here. As you can see. Pull this open. Oh, it actually comes with its own pieces. So it has its own pieces right here for the Joy-Cons. They definitely look cheaper and feel cheaper than the original ones. Though the top buttons are easy to press. There you go. Right here, we have the actual Joy-Cons themselves right here. So this is how it looks. Looks like oh, they actually do have a charge to them. I don't see any chargers from the back. As you can see, button pops off. Actually almost looks the same size as the regular Switch, but it is, as you can see, fatter. So if you have a thicker case on your Switch, it's not going to work with it. Though you can still get a thin case on the body of the Switch itself, but sliding these on, unfortunately, you can't use your original Switch cases unless it like has a battery pack or something and the sides aren't exposed. So you take this off right here. As you already know, any one of these type of pieces will work on this thing because it's an open design like the Switch. So you can use your original one that slide. Actually, you know what? Let me not say that. Yes, you can. If you have the original stick that goes in the middle, you can use it. But I have controllers that actually, the silicone sit into the controller, then it snaps in. It's not going to work because, again, like how thick the sides are. All this right here. This was flatter. That's probably a different story. But unfortunately, that is the way that they made it. So what we're going to go ahead and do right here in real time is connect these bad boys. All right. Now, what I always suggest for people to do is to go to the settings of your Switch, scroll down to where it says controllers and sensors, and always keep Pro controller wire communication on. You may ask why. Well, what happens is a lot of these third-party controllers, even they won't register the Switch when you connect them. So you have to sometimes have Pro controller on, just leave it on. And so any type of controller that you connect will work automatically. So we're gonna go ahead and try to snap these and just see if it connects. Yep, it did. Thank God. All right, so as soon as you snap this on, the Switch is automatically connected. As you can see, you don't have to worry about going through the pairing process. They seem to be working so far, left and right. All right, seems good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, since we've done the unboxing, is actually use them and let you see in real time how they respond. All right, so right here, we have the gameplay section. So as you can see, the Switch, the back of the controller is a little bit thick, but it is still thin enough where it feels good in the actual hand. I haven't had any issues so far. Buttons feel pretty good. I want to say a little bit clickier than the original Switch, but given the price tag, not everybody wants to pay $70 for Joy-Cons, and that is actually very expensive. So, movement still feels fine in this. It does feel just a tad bit rugged. What I'll say is that, oh, no free spots. Like everything else. What I will say is that as I move around right here, it does feel a little tad bit rugged. The controls still feels good, snappy. I don't have any issues. Everything is very responsive to the moment I click it, though everything is clicky, so you can literally hear everything. Like every button you press, you're going to hear it. Whether it's the A button, the jump button, whatever it is, it's very, very clicky. Feels good. Feels a little stiff. Now, I'm not sure if that's the way it was made or if you have to break it in. But what I will say is 9 times out of 10 when you have controllers, how they feel right now is how they normally are. And it's fine. I don't really care if I get hurt in the game. I'm just showing you how the gameplay is. I'm definitely not putting that weapon on. Let me go ahead and Here we go. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. It's actually very, very responsive. Now, I did try this with another game, which I'll probably cut away and just show you guys more than one game. But Dying Light seemed to be the ideal game to show you because of how vivid the movements are. You need precise jumps to jump to different rooftops to rooftops. This is pretty good and ideal. So I'm going to go ahead and just try another game out and let you know how it feels for a game that might be like a side scroller or something else. All right, so instead of using a 2D game right here, I'm going to go ahead and play some Dark Souls for you guys so you can see how this actually responds in real time with the clicks and all these buttons. You can hear the clickety parts like I showed you in the last video. But like I said before, it still is very, very responsive. Like the analog with other analogs, like the regular Nintendo Switch ones, you'll notice that when you move it left and right, it feels a tad bit loose. To be honest, it's probably why it gets Joy-Con drift so easily. I could be wrong about that. But with this right here, it just feels very, very, very responsive. It feels very good. Oh, Dragon's about to kill me. Go ahead and fly down. Here we are. So it feels very good. Like I said, as you can see in real time, I'm doing the clicks. It's responding right away. I'm going to do my little taunts. If I go ahead and do the thing right here, responds right away. Swings are very responsive. Of course, it depends on the weapon that you're using. My character does do magic, so you have this right here. So it does work very, very well. I like it personally. Now, you know, for some people, they're going to want to use the regular Switch Joy-Cons because that's what you're used to. I don't think that this is bad at all. Like for someone that's looking for, and I made an error in the price. So regular Switch Joy-Cons are $79.99 brand new, while these are they're about $40 normally, or $40 something dollars, but they were going to sell, so they're $33 plus the shipping, so like $37. Now, even though this is the first time I'm using these personally, family members are the ones that suggested this because they have multiple children. They were tired of paying $80 per controller because the kids were breaking them, and surprisingly, these, according to them, were a lot more sturdy than the regular Joy-Cons, and I can see why, because it feels more sturdy in my hand personally. Now, for you guys that are playing Mario parties and whatnot, they didn't try it on there, and I don't actually have a Mario Party game, but because it has a gyroscope, because it has the vibration, it should work. But if you're like me and you're playing games like Dark Souls, Dying Light, etc., then you shouldn't have any type of issues whatsoever. The vibration isn't bad. It's not overly strong. You know, with third-party Joy-Cons, they tend to have like overly strong vibrational features. This does not have that. It actually feels close to the original Switch. But like I said, because of this little fat part right here, you can definitely tell that they're third-party. But it does feel better in the hand also. I don't have as much finger fatigue. But of course, Joy-Cons have always been small, tiny little controllers. So if you're not very, if you don't like the comfortability of regular Joy-Cons, these aren't going to be that much of a difference. But you can feel that, you know, in the palm of my hand, it's uneven here. It feels wider in the back right here. So it not wider, but it's extended. So it's easier to actually grip the controller. So with that being said, you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever with this. They work pretty well. I had some family that had these for about a year. Theirs didn't break yet, but it is all about how often you use them and what kind of games you play. Because sometimes controllers just mess up. It is what it is. Or sometimes there's the manufacturer's defect. But I like these so far. All right, guys. So there's a couple things that we're going to talk about in this last section. Is it worth it? And how the battery excels on these particular Joy-Cons. So first things first. I already put these on here so you know that it is connected. These do work. The buttons do feel a little bit loose, which I will say. So for you guys out there that actually use the Joy-Con separately like this, personally, I don't do that, but the controller does work that way. But I do currently have them both connected right now, and so it acts as if it's one controller. And it's actually pretty good. Controller is very, very responsive, connects very fast. The vibration is a little bit stronger. It feels a little bit generic, like it's overly powerful in certain aspects compared to the regular ones. It's not regulated as well, but the vibration still feels pretty good. Let me not stutter all over the place. It's not a bad vibration. It does still have the gyro feature. So for you Mario Party users, again, unfortunately, I didn't have that game, so I wasn't sure if it worked. And I don't have any aerodynamic games where you can swing the controllers around and, you know, dance. I don't have those type of games, but it claims it has gyro, so technically it should work for those games. I just don't know how responsive it's actually going to be versus the original Joy-Cons. As for these slide on very easily. You just hit the button on the back and pull it down to take it off. I'm going to show you that in real time. As for the battery life, these aren't bad. Like, even though they say 20 hours, I've personally used them not for no 20 hours. Now, I've had family members that actually have these exact Joy-Cons. So me buying them in real time and opening them is all in the same day. But I'm giving you also a review based on 4 people that have used this personally. And they say they get these to play well over 10 hours in them. Because, you know, these are kids. They don't charge anything. So, and their mom actually told me about it and suggested it because she doesn't buy regular Joy-Cons anymore. She buys these because of the cheaper price. A lot of times they're on sale. She actually got it cheaper than $30 originally. And not cheaper than 30, but like cheaper, a couple dollars cheaper than what I paid for it. Instead of 33 and then taxes and stuff, same day shipping, she might have paid 27 or 29, just a couple dollars difference, but it's still cheaper. So for the price of 2 of these, you can still get 1 pair of Joy-Cons, which are normally $80 if you go based on Nintendo. They do last longer than the 10 hours based on the reports that I received. So that's good for those that are just not good at charging their product. In addition to that, it can go inside charging docks, but not all docks are created equal. Some of them are official, and this back part right here will not work for it. But the one I have is like a crisscross dock that I got from Five Below. Well, I have a couple of them, so I'm not sure if it's the Five Below one exactly, but I have a couple docks, and it worked just fine. I didn't have any issues. It wasn't a Nintendo one. It was like a third party. I had no issues whatsoever. But the second way of charging this is if you connect it to the Switch itself, you won't have any issue. If you connect to a dock or a regular charger, like everyday Switch users, it will charge with no problem. The Joy-Cons will be fully charged along with the system because it sucks the battery out of that to charge this when it's all connected to the dock. And it works just fine. So it'll feel just like you're using regular Joy-Cons on a regular basis. You shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. Now, the only problem that I did come across was the feel of the controller with this piece snapped in the middle. It feels very small. My hands are like, if I was using a PlayStation or a 360 controller or even a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, this doesn't have enough real estate for me to comfortably hold my hands. So when I do this, I kind of have to, you know, spread my fingers across to play comfortably. But I don't play with this piece connected. I only use it in, when this is docked, I don't use these Joy-Cons. I have controllers, I have Pro controllers, I have corded controllers for maximum comfort. That's the way I play. But if I'm on the go, I will use these with no problem. I played in the bed for a couple hours since I started doing this video, and I don't have any real fatigue. Like, I still get hand cramps, but that's just because the Nintendo Switch controllers are so amazingly small that if you're one of those people where you need a bigger controller, then the Split Pad Pro would be a better option, which I have a review on that one also on the channel. But this is more so for people that still want that longevity of the battery life. They still want to be able to disconnect and reconnect and still play with one if you want to, or 2 or multiple people. You still have that option. And it's just a cheaper and affordable thing. So like I always say, go where the money is, go what saves you money, go what works for you. If you still prefer actual Nintendo official products, I understand that. But also be aware that if you get sick of them, you're not going to be able to take these to GameStop or somewhere and sell them and expect to get regular Joy-Con values. It's just not going to happen. You're kind of stuck with these. But for me, that's the way I want it. This is connected. I have my little Animal Crossing print on a little dirt on the back of it, but Animal Crossing print, I'll clean it up later, on the back. I like the way it feels, and I do suggest these. So with that being said, like always, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.